All right, welcome back to another trading video, everybody. Today is Wednesday, October 6th, 2021. This will probably be a pretty short video. I didn't take any trades this morning, and I just took a nice loss here on VYGR, so that's always fun. It was a pretty, actually, I'm not going to say it was a stupid trade. I just kind of got an alert on it spiking in the chat that I'm in, so I checked it out. And as soon as I pulled it up, I saw, we'll kind of back out to this chart here. I'm not sure why everything's so laggy right now, but that just kicked in. But I took it right before 3:30, so right up in this area here. And basically, it had a good move in the morning. I actually don't know how I didn't see this all day long, because it definitely, I just looked over and it's a second stock on my top percent gainers of the day, so I don't know why I just never pulled up the chart and looked at it. But it was a nice mover today, and we got a spike, kind of pulled down, fell below VWAP. We get some nice consolidation here midday, and then another push, and then a sell-off here down to the 360 range, and then push back up. And again, when I got in the trade, we had just hit about that $4 mark that you see up there, that kind of top tick. We'll zoom in on it, but this is lagging much more than usual. I'm not sure if it's because it's still market hours. I usually do my videos after hours, but figured I would get this one going now since the trade was fresh, and I'll be leaving after the market closes here. But essentially, I had gotten an alert about it, right when it was up pushing this $4 range, so I pulled it open. And unfortunately, I did have a work call here at 3:30, and I didn't make any trades today, and I kind of hopped in it like immediately and just kind of wanted to make a trade today. But I still think it was a good trade, a good entry. I could have been a little bit more patient, let it play out a little bit, but at the end of the day, we're up big on the day. We're above VWAP, and we are pushing these highs of early day. If we can get over this $4 level here and just start testing that 410 level again, you've got a lot of potential there. So that's kind of why I entered it. I figured it was pretty low risk and a decent reward. It's got about a 26 million float, as you can see here, and almost 200 million volume on the day, so that's always a good sign. And yeah, that was basically the plan, hoping to push 4 and see a test and hopefully a breakout into the close. But we did not get that, and I actually wrote into my chat, I got in at 395, actually right at 320, I believe it was. Pull this over here, and now you can kind of see the level 2 that I talk about a lot, but in after hours it's a lot slower. And then this is the time in sales. So usually when I enter a trade, I almost don't even look at the chart anymore. I just come over and watch the level 2 to see the bids and the asks. And when I got into this trade, I was in again at 320 for 100 shares only at 395. And immediately it kind of went down on me, and it was bouncing around this 390 area, and we kept retesting it. And at 394, so you can see these walls here, the size here is usually below 10,000. You do have some bigger walls, but they disappear pretty quickly. But one thing to keep in mind is that, so you can kind of see here, basically market makers only have to show the next ask. So right now the ask is at 393, and it shows 14,000, 15,000 shares, and only 5,000 at 394. But there could be another 200,000 shares on ARCA or any of these exchanges that they're not showing you because they have an ask at 393. So they don't have to show their ask at 394, 395 until it's at that level. So we're bouncing around this 390 level. Okay, so that's probably why my computer is lagging. That's nice. So we're bouncing around this 390 level. I didn't really have a great risk level or a set kind of area that I was going to cut my trade on, because we were above VWAP, so I was kind of just going to go with VWAP, but it was still at 379-ish, so that's a little bit wider risk than I wanted. 16-cent risk. And the upside, I did see some upside, but I definitely wasn't getting 3 to 4 times risk to reward like I try to aim for. But immediately Let's see, once we're up in this area here, we start kind of bouncing around here. And if this thing would stop lagging for like 3 seconds, you can kind of see these couple candles are all hitting 394, 394, and we're not busting through 394. And on the level 2 here, 394 had over 350,000 size on the ask. And I even wrote into my chat and I was just like, where did this wall of 390,000 sell orders come from? Because we just had broken to 401, 402. So where did that wall just come out of nowhere from? It didn't really make a lot of sense to me. Sometimes people do put fake asks up there. So if you have like a huge account, or not even a huge account. I mean, people can just put fake sells up there and fake, and just do like fill or kill, which basically are all or nothing orders. So you have to fill all of them or none at all. So if you put up, a 200,000 share ask, then if you don't have a single buyer that wants the 200,000 shares, it's not going to get filled. So sometimes people like to manipulate this level 2 a little bit, so you can't always trust it. So that's kind of what I was hoping, but we kept bouncing off of it. And then we did get it down to like the 270s. So I thought we were kind of cracking it, and some of those fake asks might have been pulling off and we could break through. And we did break through it for about half a second right here. You can see this candle goes over 395 to 397. And at that point, I really thought we were going to, hit 4 and go through at least this high and really get a move on it. But that did not happen. As you can see, right after we get through 395, we just get this giant 3 red candles in a row straight through VWAP. And if you look at my orders here, I tried to get out a couple times on the way down and just didn't get executed at 384, then 375. And then, like I said, I had a work call at 3:30. So at 3:29, I was just like, I need to get out of here. Who knows how far this thing could go. And so I just hit the bid at 371 and cut it. It was a little bit less than a $24 loss. It was like 23.80, I think it was, because I got a little bit, 371.22, saved me a few cents there. Thanks, E-Trade, much appreciated. But yeah, I mean, I don't think that it was a bad setup. Obviously, not every good setup is going to work. That's just part of trading. But it's just really hard to get a risk level when it kind of spiked up so fast and I entered, right in this area here. And it's kind of like, where do you risk off of besides VWAP? I was kind of thinking like this bottom here, which we had this first wick to, but at the same time, I was like, I would hate to cut this trade at, 382 or 383, whatever this level is, and then have it bounce off VWAP and come back. And it just dropped through it so quickly. I got out basically at the bottom, which really sucks, and now this is frozen altogether as well. The worst part about it was it did come all the way back and get to a break-even point for me, and back to that 397 level, and then just got shot right back down again for whatever reason. And when it was down at the 370s, I was trying to really decide if I wanted to cut it or if I wanted to test this channel here where it was holding up, and it was, previous resistance when it was below VWAP earlier in the day, and then acted as support there. So I probably could have, but like I said, I had something at 330. So I was like, do I really want to try to be managing this trade while on a phone call on someone else's computer? I wouldn't have been fully focused on it, and I didn't want to get another red candle and then all of a sudden have this thing be in like the 340s on me and just have it get really ugly. But at the same time, if I wasn't in the trade yet and I had the opportunity or the option to, if I had the time, I wouldn't have probably entered it immediately there if I, had all the way until 4 o'clock with nothing else going on. And that was a perfect panic dip buy opportunity, because you have, softies like me that are cutting your trade once it falls below VWAP and hitting that 370 level. So you're getting a bunch of these longs cutting, and just, a lot of stop losses probably being ran through at the VWAP level, more probably at 375. And then, you really do get a nice dip by there. So part of me was like, if I wasn't in this trade, would I be buying it now? And I did want to, I would have definitely been thinking about it. So that's something I try to ask myself when I'm in a trade. If would I be buying this now? If I say yes, I'd be buying it now, then why would I cut it for a loss there, you know? Or what if I wasn't in this trade, would I buy now and enter? And if the answer is no, then I should be cutting. It was kind of hard just, you know, because of the timing and everything and having to kind of put my attention elsewhere did weigh into my decision just to cut it. And we do get this nice bounce. Overall, a solid setup, just didn't pan out, and I just kind of let the loss get a little bit uglier on me than it needed to. But at the same time, I mean, this drop happened so fast that it was kind of hard to cut it for anything short, as you saw those two other orders that I tried to get out of. Honestly, I wish I would have just got out at 394, 393 for like a $2 loss, which, you know, isn't fun, isn't exciting. It's, you know, you want to let your trades play out and try to get big winners. But at the end of the day, I'd rather have a $2 and $3 loss than a $24 loss. It is what it is. So that was it for me today. This whole software is freezing up on me. I was going to bring up BTBT, which I spoke about at the end of the video yesterday. I was hoping for a red to green on that, but we got kind of an early morning spike on it. But in pre-market, we got above that red to green move. We were sitting right on it around 8 o'clock, and I was really hoping we were just going to chop around sideways. That didn't happen. We got over it. We had a decent amount of moves there. It had about $1.20 or so range on the day, and you know, it just didn't really get going. I was going to try to launch it up again, but it's probably just all screwed up. So yeah, that was it for me. VYGR just kind of chased it. BTBT, if I would have got into it pre-market, it would have been good. I think the red to green was like a 10.50s or so. We got to 11. We ended up hitting about 12.20 something in the first like 30 or 45 minutes of the trading day today, and had a pretty big sell-off, and then we were bouncing around, you know, between like $11 and $12 all day. So it's like a dollar range, but on an $11 stock, that's obviously not even 10% range on the day. So I didn't really touch it, you know, going throughout the day. And now you can see we're in the low 11s here. So didn't really miss out on too much there. Let's see if this will log in really quickly, and we can just kind of pull up that chart. Although I did say this was going to be a little short video, but now that I spoke about BTBT, might as well at least try to bring it up so we can see what we're talking about. And I didn't think about it. I could have just brought up the chart on E-Trade here. Okay, never mind. I don't know what's going on with this thing. Let's see. Sorry for the hold up. Oh, I think if I bring this up, here we go. Here we go. And BTBT. And this thing wants to act weird also. That's always nice. Oh, there we are. Beautiful. What the? Alright, I guess not. I don't know what is happening with this. Minimize these two. BTBT on the 3-day. So here we go. Perfect. Not my favorite charting software here on E-Trade. But as I was saying, we had this red to green move was around the 10. Oh, there's the line. Perfect. Was down here, this kind of dotted line, around 10:35. So at 8 o'clock, we're chopping around it, and I was hoping we were just going to sit there. But we get a morning kind of spike in the pre-market area, and we're kind of consolidating around 11. And then break over 11. And honestly, I don't trade pre-market, but I was thinking about it, just entering in here and risking on 11. I obviously did not do so, and then we just took off in pre-market. And actually, so that $12 move came right out of the open, and then it just got kind of destroyed in the first, you know, 30-45 minutes, and then it's just bouncing back and forth here. You could have had, you know, 50-cent moves on it and stuff like that throughout the day if you really wanted to, but for me, you know, that's only not even 5%, 50-cent move on $11. Not really worth it. Not worth tying up the buying power, and it just chopped around VWAP all day. And you know, I'm kind of surprised some of these $12 breaks didn't really push through harder because of how well Bitcoin has held up. But that was really my other main watch, and just getting chopped up on VYGR for a quick, I mean, nine minutes. That's a decently long time for me to be in a trade, actually. But And yeah, that's about it for me. This wants to work now, so you can kind of see it a little bit more clearly here. And that was it. I thought PLTR would have a nice move today. As you can see, we had a beautiful move in the after hours yesterday. They got a big contract from the Army for I don't know how many hundreds of millions of dollars, but quite a lot. And ooh, $1 trillion gimmick. That's a little harsh. But yeah, it sold off all day. So I mean, the market's been kind of choppy this week and a little ugly. CEI got destroyed and is below $1 now, so hopefully everybody stayed out of that one. But yeah, VYGR took me for, a quick $23 loss on that big red candle there. But, then it actually recovered and just pushed $4 in after hours and bounced off of it. So we've got someone with some big money up in this $4 range that's got to be short or something that does not want to see this thing move too high, because there have been some giant walls on the level 2. But that is it for me today. Sorry for the technical difficulties, but felt like we still got a decent little breakdown of VYGR in there. And thanks for listening. Talk to you next time.